This is Nightline.
Tonight is the case that shocked the world.
Your father was described by many as charming, as a good neighbor, a good father.
Their two faces coexisted together since right from the start.
Inside the nightmare, one daughter says split her family apart.
I'm sure I was drugged, and probably more than that, by my beloved dad.
Why mother and daughter say they refuse to be shamed.
I would like to encourage everyone, not only women, all the victims, to speak up.
Plus, attempted murder? Shocking new details from the woman who says her own husband, a doctor, tried to kill her while hiking in paradise. What she says happened right after taking a smiling selfie together. And
Drill to right field. See ya.
the bat controversy that has Major League Baseball buzzing. Could it be a game changer?
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. Let's go straight to Andrew Dimberg at the ABC News Desk.
Byron, news tonight that actor Val Kilmer has died. His daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, telling the New York Times her father passed away earlier today in Los Angeles from pneumonia. Known, of course, for his commanding performance as rock legend Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, Kilmer would prove his versatility by starring 4 years later as the winged superhero in Batman Forever. His rugged good looks landed him roles in more than 50 films and TV shows over his career. And his humble, unassuming nature led the late critic Roger Ebert to call him the most unsung leading man of his generation. Kilmer's last appearance on the big screen was opposite Tom Cruise as Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky in Top Gun Maverick. Val Kilmer was 65 years old. Back to you, Byron.
We'll have more on GMA in the morning. For now, we turn to a story of survival in the face of unspeakable horror. The facts unimaginably dark, but the will and strength of its survivors, testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
No woman of this family was spared by Dominique. No one.
It's a case that shook France and the world to its core. The dark mystery of a depraved sexual predator. But for Caroline Darien, it's also the story of her family's unraveling.
I don't even have a dad now. He's still alive, but in my heart, he's dead.
A trial that upended French culture with jaw-dropping charges of deviant sexual crimes perpetrated by her father, Dominique Pellicot, covered around the world.
Overseas tonight to France and to the trial shaking much of Europe.
Gisèle Pellicot.
Dominique Pellicot.
Gisèle Pellicot. Dominique Pellicot was put on trial for drugging, assaulting, and/or raping his wife Gisèle and inviting a slew of men to join the abuse.
Dozens of men, some of whom came repeatedly.
Some came once, some came 2, some others came 7 times, 10 times.
Your mom was raped.
More than 200 times.
The amount of betrayal.
Yeah.
Violation. It's unspeakable.
It's more than that. There's no words, no qualification.
Caroline and her 2 brothers, David and Florian, grew up in what she would call a normal middle-class household in the outskirts of Paris.
We had a pretty normal life. We were a united family.
And your father was described by many as charming, as, you know, a good neighbor, a good father.
He was a good guy. He was perceived as a really good guy. That there was 2 faces coexisted together since right from the start. It's a little bit schizophrenic.
As their children grew, Gisèle and Dominique retired to the south of France, in the small rural town of Mazan.
Your father did something that a lot of abusers do, which is he isolated your mom, took friends away, and, restricted her.
Our life was less socialized than before. So probably, it was easier for him to drug her.
Dominique was convicted of drugging and inviting dozens of men to rape his wife, Giselle Pellico, repeatedly for over a decade, filming those assaults while she was unconscious. Giselle courageously deciding to take the stand in a public trial, exposing the harrowing trauma she faced at the hands of her husband, refusing to feel shamed.
J'ai voulu, en ouvrant les portes de ce procès le 2 septembre dernier, que la société puisse se saisir des débats qui y sont tenus. Je n'ai jamais regretté cette décision.
Dominique sentenced to 20 years in jail, the maximum in France for his crimes. According to police, more than 90 strangers were enlisted by Dominique through an online adult website, some of them identified using facial recognition software. Only 50 of those men faced their day in court, seen here, hiding their faces in shame. They were sentenced anywhere from 3 to 20 years behind bars, but some were never identified. Now, Caroline, the daughter of Giselle and Dominique, is speaking out, telling her own story in a new book, I'll Never Call Him Dad Again.
You talked about the crushing blow of being the daughter of both the victim and the perpetrator.
It's a crushing burden. And it was really hard during this trial.
Describing a new set of gruesome allegations and searching for more answers, pushing to publicly proclaim that she too was violated by her father, claims he denies.
What do you think happened?
I'm sure I was drugged, and probably more than that by my beloved dad.
Let's take you to November 2nd, 2020. You write about being in your kitchen, seeing the time, and having everything freeze at 8:25.
Yeah, it was like, it's what we call the tipping point, or a turning point in your life. There is a life before and a life after. Because when I heard my mom telling me over the phone that my dad was arrested, I lost a part of me.
Something died in you that day.
Yeah, something died inside.
But this story really started 2 months before that tragic day for Caroline and her family, when Dominique was arrested for a legally lesser crime, caught filming under women's skirts in the supermarket. His altercation with a security guard, published by Paris Match.
Il était en train de filmer sous votre robe.
One of those women from the grocery store speaking to Sky News.
Mais heureusement qu'on a déposé plainte, qu'on ne s'est pas dit juste bon allez c'est bon le petit bonhomme là.
Police confiscated his phone, then searched his house, took his computer and a hard drive, leading to that shocking discovery of more than 20,000 photos and videos of Giselle being abused. According to police, from 2011 to 2020, her husband crushed sleeping pills and anti-anxiety medication into her drinks and food. Lingering, ongoing health conditions confused Giselle and Caroline for years.
Because you thought she might have had Alzheimer's.
Dementia. She lost a lot of weight. She started to lose her hair. And sometimes she didn't remember that we had a discussion right in the morning. So yes, we were really afraid. And in the end, it was the symptoms of the secondary effect of those medications.
Your mom had STDs, had to deal with the fact that one of her rapists had HIV?
HIV, he was HIV positive. And all of these rape were done without any condoms. So frankly, it's a miracle that she's still alive.
Both Caroline and her mother dealing with unexplained gynecological health issues, symptoms Caroline couldn't comprehend until police showed her additional evidence in the case of her father.
And so they had to show you photos of yourself. At first, you didn't believe it was you.
I was in shock. You know, the police officer recognized me.
And I know that those photos were initially deleted.
They were deleted.
But they were in a file that said,
my bitch and her daughter.
Caroline recently filed her own lawsuit alleging that her father drugged and sexually assaulted her for more than 10 years.
What led you to be hospitalized?
I felt insecure. abandoned. I wasn't able to eat, to sleep, to face the reality, a physical and psychological breakdown.
That once united family, now divided. Even after her father's arrest, mother and daughter, sitting side by side, bonded in the courtroom. But her father's control still seemed to take hold of Giselle, even behind bars. Caroline wrote about the letters her father smuggled from jail to her mother. Her father writing, "Dear friends, all I ask is a little pity, a little sympathy. I'll be in prison for a long time." In the book, Caroline describes her mother helping her father. She's made up a bag with warm clothes and some personal items to be dropped off at the prison. "I learned this with disbelief. My mother is fussing over the man who allowed her to be raped for 10 years running." Giselle and Caroline, two victims at the hands of a once loving husband and father, the mother and daughter now estranged.
In the book, you describe how difficult it was for you to speak and that tears became your default language.
Yeah, I think Dominique succeeded to split our tears in two.
You said your mom was holding reality at arm's length, that may have been a coping mechanism for her.
When you live with someone so many years, it's difficult to unravel a relationship. I think it's a way to protect yourself.
What have you learned about chemical submission and the ways in which these crimes are perpetrated?
If you use this kind of stuff, you don't have any respect for the woman who's in front of you.
Chemical submission, the French term for what her father used for decades on her mother, often known as date rape drugs or roofies, a mix of psychoactive substances like sleeping pills or anti-anxiety medications consumed by the victim without consent.
What helps? Besides the writing, which is clearly helpful in the moment?
Action. Commitment.
Dans le quart d'heure qui suivait,
She's committed to her own nonprofit, Stop Chemical Submission, Don't Put Me Under, to raise awareness about this invisible crime. As her father sits in prison, Caroline says years later, she still wants her side of the story to be heard.
You know, I realized during this trial, during 4 months, that it was primarily the trial of my mom. But I didn't get any chance to get some answers, the right answers, and to press charges for the right facts against Dominique.
So you would like to face your father in a court of law?
I hope so, to have a chance to look at him right in the eyes, straight in his eyes.
And say?
I never forgive you.
Your mother has been celebrated by women, not just in France, but around the world, for her courage.
We saw hundreds and hundreds of women every day telling her, "Thank you, Giselle. Thank you so much, Giselle. It's wonderful what you've done." And what she did gave a lot of hope. She's now a symbol, an icon.
What do you want, not just women, but everyone, to take away from this book?
I would like to encourage everyone, not only women, all the victims, to speak up, not being afraid of sharing their own stories.
Our thanks to Juju. When we come back, a couple's hike in a Hawaiian paradise turning into a nightmare. Why he's being held on a $5 million bail. Welcome back. Ariel Koenig's birthday was planned to be spent on picturesque cliffs in Hawaii, looking at breathtaking views. But she says her husband Gerhard intended for that birthday to be her last. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
A picturesque Hawaiian hike turned into a brutal fight for life. They had just taken a selfie together when Ariel Koenig says her husband of 6 years tried to kill her. Now, new first-hand details about how anesthesiologist Gerhard Koenig allegedly tried to murder his nuclear engineer wife, Ariel, on that scenic Hawaiian hiking trail on March 24th. Ariel filed a petition for a temporary restraining order against Koenig, also the father of her 2 young children. The court granted her request for a period of 6 months.
She's arguing that based on his actions of allegedly attempting to murder her, that he's not only a danger to her, but also their children.
In her request, Ariel accuses her husband of months of sexual abuse and physical assault. The petition also claiming that in December of 2024, Koenig accused her of having an affair, leading to extreme jealousy on his part. Since then, he has attempted to control and monitor all of my communications. The court document going on to describe what she says she remembers of that day, explaining that Koenig planned the trip to celebrate her birthday, saying the hike was his idea. During the hike, I became uneasy and informed Gerhardt that I did not want to continue. A short time later, he grabbed me by the upper arms and started pushing me back towards the cliff edge, about a 1,200-foot drop, as he yelled, "Get back over there, I'm so sick of you," and continued to push me. Ariel saying she threw herself on the ground to keep from going over the edge, screaming and pleading with him to stop, asking him to think about our children. While the two struggled, Gerhardt grabbed his bag and took out a syringe with an unknown substance, attempting to inject me. Ariel going on to describe how he then grabbed a nearby rock and began bashing me repeatedly on the head with it. She says that's when two women appeared on the trail and began shouting, "We are here. We are calling 911. Ariel says she managed to escape but suffered facial and head injuries that required hospitalization. After an hours-long manhunt, Koenig was arrested by Honolulu police and charged with second-degree attempted murder. In the petition, Ariel also claims Koenig was seen covered in blood and heard FaceTiming his son saying, "I just tried to kill Ari, but she got away." Ariel's attorney telling ABC News she is at home with her family right now, focusing on her recovery. As for her estranged husband, he is expected back in court Thursday for an arraignment and plea hearing.
Dr. Koenig is facing a charge of attempted second-degree murder, and if convicted, he could face up to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
Our thanks to Eva. When we come back, it's the battle of the bats. How one MIT graduate's invention has become a big hit.
Congrats on 45 years, Nightline.
And finally tonight, baseball season has only just begun, but a new innovation in the batter's box has fans all fired up. Here's ABC's Lara Spencer.
High drive, right field.
As the battle of the bats intensifies,
the bat worked. A 3-run home run.
The man behind the phenomenon is speaking out about the new tool helping the Yankees blast homer after homer.
The world of data analytics, physics, math, etc. can have such a positive impact on the game of baseball and generate so much excitement.
Aaron Lenny Lenhart, an MIT graduate and former physics professor turned analyst at the Yankees, telling ABC affiliate WPLG how he got players to buy into his so-called torpedo bat.
It just takes time for guys to get comfortable with it, time for guys to tweak the designs to their liking.
The design moves the barrel, or the thickest part, closer than usual to the batter's hands, putting more wood in the area where the hitter is most likely to hit the ball.
Our thanks to Lara. That's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.